Hey everybody, this is Aquila and this is a Lefty Knitter podcast. This is episode 74. My cat has already made me restart twice. I have quite a jump in my subscribers. This is not a polished podcast, as Leslie says from Not Quite Enough Yarn. There are tons of interruptions all the time. I have a lot more subscribers, I should say. So I want to say welcome to the podcast. And yeah, it's always like this. Did I say it was episode 74? It's 74. So I thought I would reintroduce myself since there's some new viewers. And if you haven't went back and watched any older episodes, so my name is Aquila. I live in Baltimore with my husband, my 2 daughters, 3 cats. And yeah, so I am a lefty knitter or a mirror knitter. I am very left-hand dominant. And when I taught myself to knit in like 2002, 2003 maybe, I had bought a kid's book on how to knit, and yeah, I had to reverse the images in my head from the book and just make it work, because there was no way I was going to be able to have that working needle in my right hand. It just wasn't going to, I mean, yes, I could have forced myself, and yes, it could have happened, but naturally, it just worked so much better in my left hand. So that is why my podcast is named A Lefty Knitter Podcast, because I am a true lefty and my working needle is in my left hand. So I also am I have an English hold, so that means the working yarn is also in my left hand, and I'm a thrower, so I throw my yarn. It's not as fast as a picker, continental hold, and I can do it a little continental. I'm not as fast, and my gauge would be off until I really do it a lot more and get used to that. So my grandmother tried to teach me how to knit, and she's left-handed. She was left-handed. She's no longer with us. And it never happened. It just never happened. I didn't have the patience. I was too young, I think, when she was trying, and I just didn't have the interest. And I wish I would have, because that would have been really good memories to have. So she actually passed away the year I graduated, and then I learned to knit probably like 5 years after that. So maybe 2 years after that. Whatever. She just never knew that I actually taught myself. So I knit, I crochet, I have a spinning wheel, so I do spin very little. I also have a Addy king size knitting machine, so I do that. I have a loom, so I dabble in that some too. I have a lot of tools. And yeah, so you might see a little bit of everything on here, including cattails. I was digging through some pictures the other day, and I came across this picture, and I just want to show you guys because I think it's pretty interesting. So the same grandmother I was just talking about, which is my maternal grandmother, my mother's mother, she made me this outfit. Let me get the picture. Might be a little dusty. So let's see. This is from 1985. I was 3. Oh my God, my cat, Bud. I'm 3 years old, and I'm wearing an outfit that that's crochet. She crocheted for me. Let me put it in front of my face so it focuses. So yeah, I showed this to my little one, who's gonna be 5, and she's like, I want that. And I'm like, I could probably figure that out or find a pattern on Rav that's close enough. I do know people are having issues on Ravelry, and I do post everything down below. So I have a Ravelry group, and I'm on Instagram, and I post both of those accounts because I have a personal Instagram account that I had started on, and now I actually have a Lefty Knitter podcast account. So I know a lot of the links I post below are Ravelry links for patterns. I did not personally have any issues, and I apologize for Ravelry, I guess, for people that do. Although, I never changed my back to classic mode. So, everything I think people were having issues with, they have now made, it seems that they have made the corrections because it's not as bright white, it doesn't have the animations. So I don't know if you didn't change it back to classic, or if you already did to fix the vision issues that people, you know, that the triggers that were happening. I didn't change mine back, and I think they may have worked out some of that. So again, I do not work for Ravelry, so I am not quite sure. So yeah. I only have 2 projects on my needles right now, and I've made a little bit of progress on both of those. The first one is the Once in Floral sweater. I've been showing this every week on the podcast for probably 3 weeks at least. I don't know. This is by Maxim, and I am using, I'll just tell you every time, the first clip, because my episodes are recorded through the week and then I post on Saturday. So you could get a little bit of clips here and there and family life and this and that. So this is Jameson & Smith, the 2-ply jumper weight. So I'm using all that yarn for all 3 colors. And yeah, it's a color work yoke sweater. Oops, there goes my yarn falling. This is actually the back of the sweater. I put my marker on it so I would remember. And that is how far I've knit since I showed it on the podcast. So I've knit however many inches that is. Yeah, I'm making some progress. I knit a lot of it watching Hamilton. I've never seen that before, and Disney Plus offered it. So I decided I was going to watch it. I enjoy musicals, and I enjoyed that. I thought it was very interesting, and I understand why people really enjoyed it, because it is like a modern take with the music. So if you get a chance to see it, or on Disney Plus, I suggest it. I'm not going to be one of those crazy fanatical people, because I'm not really like that about anything. But I suggest it. I actually would watch it again with my oldest daughter, who likes musicals. So maybe I will see if she wants to watch it with me, because I'd watch it again. It's like 2.5 hours though, so you gotta have it I watched it in like 2 or 3 settings. So yeah, this is for my husband, who is periodically on this podcast also, and he is the giggles to all the things. He makes everybody laugh. Do you guys have any pictures of yourselves in outfits that were made? I have another one too. Another picture. And I'm pretty sure this is still in the attic in the house I grew up in. My dad lives there. I might have to try to find it. That'd be kind of cute. Hopefully it's not damaged or anything. The other sweater, look, now I've just given it away. Given away all the secret sauce. I cast this on. I was gifted this pattern. It is called Catbells, and I'm using a worsted weight yarn. I'm using Lion Brand woolies. And I am now ready to join in the round. So the construction of this is you're making the panels for the front and the panels for the back, and then you join it in the round, and then you pick up and do sleeves and pick up and do the neckline and all the things. But I am ready. I just got to the point where I can join. So I have to pull the pattern out because I just use it on my phone. Yeah, this is the front. Okay, this is the front. All those stitches are on hold with just an extra cable that I had with cable stoppers on it, needle stoppers on it. And the back is now done. So if you fold it in halvesies, it's like the same length. And it will go over my head like this. And like I said, you'll do a neckline. And now I'm ready for the armholes. Seems a little, doesn't seem like it should be ready for armholes, but I'm following the pattern. I don't know. I've only done one other thing like this, so let's hope that it fits correctly. And it is an 80-20, so it's only got 20% wool. It's got like 5% cat hair. So it might not really block out much bigger, but I think it will block out some with this lace. I think that's really beautiful. Can you see that? Because that will be all over the whole sweater. All right, I've done enough rambling. Again, I post all my links down below. If you have any questions, comments, make sure you put them down below. Also, if there's something I didn't put a link to and you had a question about it, ask me. I'm here. I'm in quarantine. I'm not doing anything else. I'll find it. I'll post it. So yeah, until the next clip, guys. I don't know what I'll be working on because I don't want it to be a boring episode. Sometimes I just cast on something so I can show you something different other than like the big long-term projects. So I don't know what that could be. Could be anything. I guess you'll have to find out. It is Thursday, July 16th. I know I've showed you guys this cowl, Ocean Pathways cowl by Roja Knits. I'm pretty sure I'm going to be casting that on. I was digging through my yarn and I wanted to do the actual tube cowl, but I don't have all the yarn, enough yardage of yarn in colors I think I would want to use. So I'm doing the one that's just the ribbing, the cowl part, and then the ribbing again. So it's just, you know, I don't want to say it's a regular type cowl. It's just not tubular. So I'm pretty sure both of these, well, I know this one is Knit Picks in the palette, and that's black. I can't remember if this was a balled up of this, but this is 60 grams together. They're both a 2-ply. They're both around the same kind of like look and weight to them. So they'll work. You won't tell the difference, I don't think. So it uses 3 contrast colors, and because I wanted it to be like really bright, kind of like the pattern, if you obviously saw it, I wanted bright colors. I have this. I'm going to use this for the color that you don't need as much of because I don't have a full ball of this. This is also Knit Picks. This is Stroll Fingering in Ravelry. This is also Stroll, and this is the Pickle Juice colorway. And then I have this. This is going to be the color used the most of, and I'm going to have leftovers from it, which I'm totally okay with. But this is Plucky, which I've never used before. Plucky Primo Fingering, 385 yards, and it's got cashmere in it. I almost don't want to use this for this cowl, but I'm going to. And then I don't know what I'll use the rest of it for, but the color is called I Carried a Watermelon, and the inspiration was Dirty Dancing. So I love all these colors together. Let me kind of wind that black one back up so you can get the full effect. If I can even do this. Let's see. Of all of those together. With this being that base color, the main color, the black. I think those colors are really, really gonna pop. And I'm excited to cast this one. I've been loving color work. This is also another cowl that I wouldn't say is a complete starter cowl, only because it's some points you're holding 3 colors, knitting with 3 colors in one row. But that shouldn't deter you if you're like, I could do this, then do it. Don't like think that you can't do it. It's just a little bit more thinking when you're carrying your floats on how many stitches between each stitch color. Like if there's, you know, that's hard to explain. You just might have to catch your floats at different points with the second and third colors, or the first color, you know, whatever, however it falls. I got to a point where I joined my Catbells sweater, and I guess I wasn't really, I read ahead. I know I read ahead, but I didn't think about after you join in the round, you normally are knitting back. So in that all that texture, you're doing like texture and then you knit back to get that purl ridge on the front side, on the correct side of the garment. So to get that purl ridge in the round, you have to purl it. It's like 200 and some stitches, which it's just gonna be much more slow going now because different cat broke in today. Yeah, so now I'm kind of at a slower point because I've joined it. This is the front. It's joined. I didn't put it on much larger needles, but yeah. So every other row is a purl row. Ah! I just don't purl as fast as I knit. And I don't want to like attempt to like flip it and knit back on the row, because I've tried that before and it looked really sloppy. So one thing I did not mention, and this is why I don't do knit-alongs very often, or really ever. I have a knit-along going on. It's the Birthstone Cowl 2020. And all the rules are up in my Ravelry group, and you knit with the color of your birthstone. And if you don't have yarn for the color of your birthstone, your kid's birthstone, or your husband's, or your wife's, or whomever. It just has to be kind of birthstone themed, right? So, and you have to use a certain percentage of grams of yarn, and I can't remember how much that is. But the winners, there will be 2 pulled from the finished objects, will win a $40 gift card either to Rising Tide Fiber Company or to Fully Spun. It's 2 chances to win a $40 gift card. That way you can pick whatever you want. Instead of me just buying something and sending it to you. I like that idea. So yes, so join the Birthstone Cowl if you want. It ends on August 6th, so you still have almost a full month. I mean, 1 week less of a full month, really, if you think about it. So I thought I would show you guys a little bit of me knitting left-handed as a thrower with color work. Now, I pulled this thing back out because I haven't used it in a long time. It is a yarn guide. And I have my yarns through it, and you put your finger around it, and then I kind of tension it like with these fingers. And of course I need to pull the tension a little bit more like that, and I have to semi-manipulate it until I get going with, because there's a lot of slack, which I should have pulled tighter, but that's okay. And then slip. So the repeat is every 20 stitches. I put stitch markers so I know I'm doing it correctly. I do have to manipulate that back color. Now again, I'm doing color work here, and the color that is underneath, so my pink is underneath of my black at all times. That will be my color that is more dominant in the work. So when I throw, I do have it kind of go over my finger, and I throw it with it over my finger. I'll show you guys the other way I do it too. I do not use this yarn guide very often, especially when I have floats, because catching the floats is not as easy for me to use this. I hope this is showing up. I'm not looking at my camera as I'm doing this. So Yeah, so I'm kind of just throwing it over, guiding it a little with my thumb. And this isn't sped up, obviously, because I'm talking during this. This is live talking, it's not a voiceover. So, yeah, so that's me doing it with a yarn guide, which I don't use very often, but I dug it out because I wanted to try it because there wasn't any floats in this section, and I wanted to see if I was any faster doing it this way. I don't think I'm as fast. I actually think I'm faster picking up the yarn every single time. I could get faster if I did this more and played with it and practice more. I feel like my tension is a little different because I'm using this, because I'm not doing it my normal way, which is without it, and then, you know, throwing it. I mean, I am throwing still, but I'm using a guide a little. So, whoops. All right, so let me show you, let me get it off the yarn guide and show you how I would do this if it wasn't on the yarn guide, just so you guys can have a visual of what I do. So I don't hold either yarn technically in my hand because I keep dropping and picking up. So I'm on black, 1 and 2, pick up, 1. Sorry, the stitch markers do slow me down when I get to those. 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. So I feel like I can be faster. Now I could hold both of these yarns in one hand. Let's see, I don't do this very often. Or I could do continental like this. So I'm picking, which I am not good at picking, so I am definitely slower. 1, I need more slack. There we go. All right. 1, 2, 3, 1, and then, so I'm throwing now with my left hand and picking the yarn with my right hand. 2, 3, 1, 2. Most knitters understand why I use the stitch markers. It's the pattern repeat, so if you're doing lace or color work and there's a pattern repeat, at least you know your count is pretty on point. You can figure out where you went wrong, usually within that set of markers. This is a 20 stitch repeat, so I would only have to tink back no more than 20 stitches if I did the wrong thing. So I think it's very useful to use your stitch markers if you have them. They're very helpful. I use them in almost every project. So I'm not terribly slow doing it this way, but I have a feeling these pink stitches, the tension is going to be a little tighter because I'm not used to doing continental. Now I am picking and I'm proud of myself. So I don't do it very often. Again, if I forced myself to do it more often, made, 10 dishcloths and made myself do it this way and practiced. That's really what this is all about, is getting practice in and getting that muscle memory. So, all right, I've recorded about 5 minutes regarding how I knit with 2 colors. This pattern, again, I'm only working with 2 colors now, but I still feel like I am faster if I am picking up my yarn and dropping my yarn. My opinion. All right, well, I hope that gives you guys, I know it probably looks weird to so many people, only because I think the majority of people knit, right-handed, where the stitches are moving in the other direction. It's always kind of funny. I have to explain, I work my charts left to right. I also switch out certain stitches to get the left leaning and right leaning decreases. If I'm making a sweater and it says I'm doing the right front, I'm technically doing the left front. That's just how it is. So usually in a pattern, I am just changing left and right When it says left, it's the right, and it's when it's right, it's the left. So there's just a little glimpse into my visual as a left-handed knitter, and I hope you guys enjoyed that. Alright, so I have shower, total wet hair, but I want to finish up this video so I can get it posted because it's already kind of late on Saturday, whatever today's date is. I was just showing you a little bit of the color work. This is that Ocean Pathways cowl, so I'm done the ribbing and I'm working some color work. And other than that, I don't have enough progress on either sweater to show you those again, so I'm not going to bore you. And yeah, you might remember this location. Yeah, so we were cleaning this morning. John's getting a haircut. You know, all the typical life things that happen. I ranted in the first clip a lot about Ravelry, and I want to take some of that back because I am not quite sure what they've really changed or how much they've really changed, because they haven't said that they've completely reverted. I think they're still doing the surveys. I think some stuff they have changed, like it doesn't animate anymore. There's still the white space. So I really do love Ravelry. I really do think that they're not being malicious. I don't think it's that. I know they are addressing the problem. The fact that it's not like that they didn't just switch it back, I know is like really upsetting people, or not changing it quicker. I am not a technology geek. I do not know how hard that is. But I know a lot of people are still saying that they haven't put out a heartfelt apology, and so I'm just really kind of torn because I really think that they want to do the right thing, and they've stood up for so many other things in the community that I don't see why they would just abandon us all now, right? So I do feel bad for the people that can't access it still. And that really sucks, you know? And like, you can't even get in to change it to classic mode unless you have somebody else do it for you. So there's just a lot of emotion about it all. I mean, on top of everything else that is happening in this world as a whole, there's just a lot of emotion. So I want to give them the benefit of the doubt that it's going to be better. So I'm not jumping ship from Ravelry just yet. I know a lot of people are. A lot of people are very, very vocal about it. And I've said my piece, and that's it. There we go. And I'm going to keep monitoring the situation. So that's all the knitting and fibery content stuff. Yesterday, if you follow my regular Instagram, you may have seen that I was like, F today. It has been a very emotional, just trying time for us, for many reasons that it's the reasons we've not made public, right? So it's personal. I'm sorry that I can't share everything because that's just not that I can't. But the thing that sparked yesterday was my old man Vaughn, who you may have seen. I'll pop a picture because he's so cute. You've seen him many times. He's on my Instagram. He pops his face into the video a lot, or his butt, because he's cat. Yesterday, so we already know he has kidney issues, and he is on a weight gain food. He does not like the kidney food, neither the wet or the dry. I've tried it, so we're just doing what we can, and I'm not going to force stuff down his throat, and he'll be 15 next month, so, you know, he's older, but he vomited, which is not unusual for him, or any cats, for that matter, if you own cats, but it was tinged reddish, and I was concerned, and so I called the vet right away. I didn't like sop it up. I kind of just laid a white paper towel on it and then flipped it over to kind of see, and the paper towel was tinged a little reddish, and it had little specks of what looked like fresh blood, which is obviously more bright red. So of course I'm like, I'm bawling, I'm calling the vet. The vet has an appointment at 1, and I take him in. The vet is not concerned. The vet said if he had nothing to eat, which he really didn't yesterday, and if it was a forceful vomit, sorry, kind of gross, I'm sorry, there can be some blood. So that's with any animal, human, thing, anything that can vomit. God, sorry. Yeah, so she was not concerned about that. He still has not lost any extra excessive weight. He's still 8.6 pounds, which is still pretty good, even though he's always been my big kitty. I'm so not used to him being so like skinny. But so now we are going to be on Pepsid to help with stomach acid, which will hopefully help with a little bit of the vomiting, and a pain medication, only because we saw his energy level go down in the last 2 weeks. It was just kind of like, not that he wasn't like completely out of it or anything, because he'd still run around like crazy and have his like bouts of energy. So we're doing that. A little bit of pain medication. He's been really good today. He got an IV yesterday, and I think we're going to continue to do like 2 IVs a month just to keep up his fluid intake, because he has resorted to drinking out of our bathroom sink when we leave the sink on for him. Although he has a cat fountain that filters the water. I don't understand cats. I mean, I love cats and I love him, but I guess it's just fresh. It's more fresh. I don't know. Yeah. All right, so I've rambled now for 7 minutes about color work, Ravelry, and my cat. I hope everybody else is having a good weekend. It is quite warm here in Baltimore. I have no clue what we're gonna do. We wanted to go to maybe the waterfall, but because of COVID, you have to have they can't let so many people into the park, because then it would just be overcrowded. So you have to make a reservation, and I am pretty sure reservations are filled for like the summer. So I don't know what we're gonna do. It's just warm. We might just chill in the house. That might be what we do. Yeah. Well, I'm hungry. Hazel's already eaten lunch, so I need to forage for something. I might make scrambled eggs. Exciting. All right, until the next time, everyone, knit happy and, just take care of yourselves and tell your loved ones that you love them very much. So, yeah, weird, sorry. I'm strange. Yeah, so until the next episode, which will be next Saturday. All right, I gotta stop.